Okay, here's a quick video on how to use the switch. Right here is your power button. You're gonna go ahead and press that. Okay, now all your menus are gonna be right here in the album section. You have your news, Nintendo eShop, album, controllers, system settings, and sleep mode or power. You're gonna go here in albums, and when you click that, it's gonna bring you to the SXOS site. So now you have your games. Console does come with a valid license. Installer in case you want to put it in the actual system itself instead of the SD card. Your homebrew menu, this includes the retro games. Options, this is just for like internet play, updating the SXOS. And if any cheats you want to put onto the game. Now you're going to go here to homebrew, and this right here is RetroArch. This is to play the NES and SNES games. So it has a lot of options in this. Let me go right here. All your games are loaded in content. Go to downloads. So all your Nintendo and Super Nintendo games are loaded on here. Just pick, let's say, Super Mario, let's go to. If you want to go inside the menu, from here you can actually add cheats. You can do save files, cheat files. You apply everything from here. You can also change your button controls on how you want to use your buttons, the button configuration, what you want them to do, whether it's left, up, down, right. You can assign whatever you want. To get out of the menu, you just go to the home button right here. Now if you want to play, none of the games are going to come with cartridges. Everything's loaded onto the SD card. So for example, I already have New Super Mario Bros. Loaded. Pick your user. Now you're not going to be able to play anything else while you're playing something, so you could go ahead and close the software. Go back into your albums. Now let's say I want to play Mario Kart. Go ahead and press Mario Kart now. Just go ahead and stop. You could always update whenever you want.
Mario Kart 8!
Alright, so every time you want to play a game, you have to go to your albums, and all your games are loaded here. So you pick the game that you want to play, and then you load it. So I didn't close the last game. It'll automatically close it for me, and it'll load it. So the difference is the game that you're currently playing will show that it has a cartridge inside. These won't. Okay, I want to go over how to go back into original firmware, and how you do it is you go ahead and you turn off the switch. you're going to go ahead and take off the right Joy-Con. I'm going to provide you with a RCM jig, which is going to send the switch into recovery mode. Slide this down the rail. I'm also provide you with a dongle. You go ahead and you plug that up, and to get to the options menu for SXOS, you're going to hold the volume up button and hold the power button down for 5 seconds until you see the screen pop up. You can release once you see the screen, and it will give you an options menu. Now you can go ahead and boot an original firmware. When you do original firmware, it's like it doesn't have any jailbreak on the system, so I'll go ahead and do that. You're still going to have your save game files on there, so it's going to show all the games, but you won't be able to play it. Go ahead and take off the jig. You won't need this anymore. That's only to get to the SX menu. Go ahead and remove the dongle. And now it's in the original firmware. It's like if I go to try to play a game, it won't allow you to. This is the one I have loaded from before. It says that it's loaded, but it will not play. So to go back to the SX menu now, or boot it back into the other firmware, what you're going to do is you don't have to put the RCM jig anymore. All you have to do is you're going to turn it off. Hold the power button. Turn off. And now all you need is the dongle. You just plus the dongle. You don't need to hold the volume up button. You just tap power. And it'll start back up. It won't go to the menu because you didn't put it in recovery mode. So it won't ask you if to boot in regular firmware or SXOS. I recommend leaving the switch in sleep mode. That way when you go to play it again, it'll always be in the custom firmware that we installed. So now if I go to Zelda, that's the one I have loaded, it will in fact play the game. You don't need the dongle once it's started. That's just to deliver the payload into the switch. Takes a little while for Breath of the Wild. Pretty dramatic. Let's go ahead and load in a different game. See how it shows the card? It'll automatically close Zelda. And it goes into Super Mario. Now, when you put it in sleep mode, you won't need the dongle. You can turn off the console and allow it to power up. You put it in your dock and charge it. And then when you're ready to play, you go ahead and you press home or you press power. And it'll automatically come back to where you need it to. Again, when you turn it off, you will need the dongle. You won't need the RCM unless you're trying to go back into original firmware. Alright? Thank you. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact me. I'll try to explain it to the best of my ability. Thank you. Okay, a couple things I want to go over with you guys is how to copy game cartridges. So I already have LEGO Worlds inside. Go to your albums. Go to Homebrew menu. Okay, HB menu. You're going to go to Wayne Card Dumper. It's going to show it here. Now you have a number of options. Splitting is off. You're going to turn that into on by pressing Y. So it's on now. What that does is it splits up the game file into multiple files rather than having one big game file. Your micro SD is formatted to FAT32, which can only do 4 gigabytes each file. Now you could remove the cert. I recommend not doing that. You want your cert and destination is SD. You can also record everything to a hard drive. So if you want to change the destination, you press X and it'll go to a USB HDD, which is your hard drive. And you really want it to go into your SD cards. So you go ahead and press X again. And you can press start dumping, it'll copy the game. We already have this game, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel it, but this is what it's going to load. When this bar goes all the way across, it'll say finished, and that's how you load it. So depending on the size of the game is how long it will take to copy. So it usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes depending on how long. So it's not that bad. Now I'm going to go ahead and cancel. Dumping is canceled and get out of this. And that's how you would copy it. Now I'm going to show you how to go to the App Store, which is a lot of options for your Homebrew. So right here next to Homebrew menu is your App Store. I'm not going to go through all the apps. There's a bunch of apps on the App Store that you can do. It gives you multiple options to adjust your Switch and add things to it. But I just want to briefly go over it real quick. This is how you're going to download more emulators. Let's say you want like your PS1 or your GameCube or Nintendo 64 emulators. This will be on your Homebrew app. RetroArch, I believe, does all of them. That's why I have that one. Give it a second to load. This is the first time I'm using Homebrew on this Switch, so it takes long the first time it loads up. I believe it's a lot faster afterwards. So from here, you're gonna go to, it has a multiple games on here. You have your emulators, tools, a lot of things to help your Switch. So once, let's say we go into something like this is another game dumper, which will copy your games for you. You change your fonts. Once you click it, it'll give a brief example of what it is. These are your emulators here. This is RetroArch. Game Boy Advanced. This is the PlayStation one. And what you do is once you go into it, you press download and it'll be on your Homebrew menu. So let's say you go back here. That app will go here. It'll be one of these apps on this page, and if it's not on here, it'll be in your Homebrew. Alright, thank you for watching. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you.